My name's Mike Pullin, and I've been riding motorbikes for 59 years now. Passed my test when I was 16, back in 1952. Well, it all started by accident, really, because I had a birthday party. We had a really fantastic night, and I thought to myself, if ever I do this again, I'll charge people to come in. So 2 years later, I decided to have party time. And at the end of the day, I had 1,650. So thought about St Michael's Hospice and took the money over there. And from then on, it's become an obsession. Another thing we did was a friend of mine, he wanted to take his horse called Frank to London. So I said, well, I would come along with him as long as we could make money for the hospice. And so we took Frank to London. I made a film of it. Very amateur, I admit. But actually, with that film, I've made over 10,000 because I give talks to women's institutes and retirement clubs, Probus, U3A, and so on. And on the actual trip, we made 12,500. Obviously, by now, it's becoming an obsession to raise money for the hospice. And in 2003, we started the Hospice Angels. So we decided to go to Vierzon, which is Hereford's twin town in France. And I think we made about 12,500 on that trip. And every year since then, we've done a trip. We've been to Dillenburg, Hereford's twin town. We've been to Rosenweis twin town, Lemsters, Ledbury's. And Ledbury twin town is actually Strömstad in Sweden. And that was a really incredible trip we made there. By the time we'd gone to Ireland in the year 2008, we made 16,000 that year doing that. And one of the proudest moments of the Hospice Angels, while we were in Ireland, I'd been in contact with the Northern Ireland Hospice Care, and they were fundraising for a children's hospice at the Northwest 200, which is a motorcycle race in Northern Ireland. And I said to them that if they could get us into the paddock, we would fundraise for them. And in one afternoon, we raised 3,500. A couple of years ago, I went into our local pub, and a lady there, she said to me she would like to sponsor me, and she wrote out a cheque for £1,000. And in fact, that's the third time that somebody's actually given me a cheque for £1,000. One person actually ran after me in the street. And then, like on a lighter note, we were sort of basically illegally parked, waiting to go off on one of our trips, and the traffic warden came across, and by the time I'd finished talking to them, I got a donation of 15 pence out of them. And what I've come to find is that the guys that have joined us, I mean, okay, they ride big, powerful motorbikes, but they've also got this desire to help others, and it's difficult to put into words, really. You know, and until you do these kind of things, you don't realise how many people out there are so generous, you know. We do collections at supermarkets, and they give us lots of stories about how the hospice has helped them, and most people, I think, have got this ability to try and help others, like, you know. Well, that gives you some idea of why I raise money for the hospice. I've just met those very generous people, and they put £20 in the tin. They also spoke about a friend of theirs who uses a day centre at the hospice. That's another thing that I don't think people realise, is the amount of different things that the hospice does. Well, it certainly makes me want to carry on doing what I'm doing anyway. I think one of the best things about it is that I've met a lot of people that have become very good friends, and we've done some pretty amazing things, really. And some of the people we meet on our travels too. Even when we were in Ypres in Belgium at the Menin Gate, a lady from Yorkshire came up to me and she said she admired what we were doing and gave me £20. And I could tell you so many stories about so many amazing people that we've met on our travels. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that, you know, because we're really just the collectors. Well, just another example of a generosity. I was in Hay-on-Wye today, and I met this gentleman, and after I told him one or two things, he gave me £5. And in the book I've written, "Man in Hay-on-Wye, £5." Well, no, this is another way that I actually raise money for the hospice. You see, I'm loaded up with Christmas cards, calendars, diaries, and holly and mistletoe, all ready for Christmas. If anybody wants to join, They've got to come and join in and have a lot of fun. At the same time, we can raise a bit of money for the hospice. But having a lot of fun is a big ingredient of what we do.